As we have been talking about this hour, Donald Trump is making news for his answer to a question about abortions. During a town hall with MSNBC, the Republican frontrunner called to ban abortions and said if the practice was outlawed, women who have abortions should be punished.
Should abortion be punished?
Well, people in certain parts of the Republican Party and conservative Republicans would say yes, they should be punished.
How about you?
I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very hard.
But you're for banning it.
Are you going to say, well, wait, are you going to say put them in jail? Is that
well,
the
no, what I'm
punishment
asking
you're talking
you,
about?
because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life, yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it? Do you believe believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents, 10 years,
I don't know. That I don't know.
Well, why not?
I don't know.
You take positions and everything else.
Frankly, I do take positions and everything else. It's a very complicated position.
Donald Trump issued a statement shortly after his abortion comments saying, quote, "This issue is unclear and should be put back into the states for determination. Like Ronald Reagan, I am pro-life with exceptions, which I have outlined numerous times." Hogan Gidley is the former senior communications director for the Huckabee campaign, and he joins me now by phone. Thanks so much for taking the time. So first off, what's your reaction to his comments?
I got to tell you, I was a little bit confused. I'd spoken with several Republican strategists today on this issue. I've spoken with several reporters as well, folks on campaigns. It's a little bit perplexing. I wasn't sure at first exactly what Donald Trump was saying in the way that, and maybe you can clear this up. What I gleaned from the clip I saw is that once abortion is made illegal, if he bans abortion, then he's saying there should be punishment.
But Hogan,
is that correct?
That is correct. But also, let me back up a minute, because right before he said that, Chris Matthews asked him, how do you actually ban abortion? And Trump went on to say, well, you go back to a position like they had where they would perhaps go to illegal places, but we have to ban it. So he also said you have to ban it. So you've got banning it and also punishment for women if it's illegal. So
well, I think that's a poor choice of words by someone who's not savvy from a political standpoint. I mean, he's obviously savvy in business. He's obviously a good speaker. But he's inarticulate at times, and this is one of those issues, I think, where he's inarticulate. I mean, banning abortion, I'm not sure if that's the way you couch it. I mean, one of the things Governor Huckabee used to speak about, and one of the things we kind of ran on, we do want to end the scourge of abortion. I mean, we do believe life begins at conception. That's 60 million babies lost in this world, killed since Roe v. Wade, and we think that's an important issue and something we should overturn. But you don't have to pass a new law to do it. You've already got constitutional amendments in the 5th and 14th Amendment that ensures life and due process under the law. And if that baby is deemed a baby by the courts, and right now it hasn't been, obviously Roe v. Wade said it wasn't. But if that's deemed a baby, you don't have to pass a new law. That baby's due protection under the United States Constitution if it's considered a baby. So what you would have to do is invoke the 15th and 14th Amendment as president. You'd get sued, you'd go to court, and it would play out in a process where the liberal version would have to be defended, and you'd have to prove that that child inside the mother's womb isn't a baby. Now, that's a whole different conversation, but I'm saying that's how you would end abortion. I don't know if banning it is the right terminology.
Okay, so many people are responding to this. March for Life they're distancing themselves from Trump's comments. They're saying no pro-life American advocates punishment for abortion. And I think it's important to note that they go on to say no pro-lifer would ever want to punish a woman who has chosen abortion. This is against the very nature of what we are about. We invite a woman who has gone down this route to consider paths to healing, not punishment. So is he out of touch with the pro-life movement?
He's in touch in the sense that they want abortion banned. What he doesn't quite get, I think, in this particular instance is the mother is a victim here, okay? And this is something that we've been talking about with Governor Huckabee, but also other candidates and in the pro-life movement. You already have one tragedy in the killing of a child. You don't want another tragedy. And one of the things when Governor Huckabee actually was a pastor, we used to talk about this some, and then also when he was governor and passed some pro-life legislation, the guilt that the mother feels is so amazingly strong, difficult. It's something that they never truly come to grips with over the course of their life. And in counseling sessions he had as governor and also as a pastor, in the pro-life movement, we feel like the mother is a victim in this, and you don't want to. You've already killed one child. You don't want to ruin two lives in the process. So that's something that most Republicans feel as though is one step too far. You can't cart off mothers to jail. And look, I'm not an attorney, but once you go down that road, what happens to the father? What happens to the abortionist? What happens to the nurse that helps out? It creates all kinds of trouble. Now, I understand. I think that's what Donald Trump was saying when he made the point. It's a difficult issue. I'm not exactly sure what to do, because no one is sure what to do. That'd be very difficult to try and litigate if you were going to punish the mother.
Hogan, just for our viewers who are just joining us possibly, we just want to play the sound from Donald Trump in that exchange when he made the controversial comments about abortion. Let's listen into that for a second.
Should abortion be punished?
Well, people in certain parts of the Republican Party and conservative Republicans would say yes, they should be punished.
How about you?
I would say that it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem that we have to decide on. It's very hard.
But you're forbidding
are you going to say, well, wait, are you going to say put them in jail? Is that
well,
the
no, but I'm
punishment
asking you,
about?
because you say you want to ban it. What's that mean?
I am pro-life, yes.
What is ban? How do you ban abortion? How do you actually do it? Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 cents, 10 years,
I don't know. That I don't know. That
well, why not?
I don't know.
You take positions and everything else.
Frankly, I do take positions and everything else. It's a very complicated position.
Former communications director Hogan Gidley is a former communications director for Mike Huckabee. He's on the phone with us. Hogan, I'm curious, how would you advise your candidate if they had said something like this going forward?
Well, this issue should be about saving lives, not ruining even more. Okay, I think Donald Trump should become even more clear on this. I know he tried to clean it up a little bit via Twitter, but he should talk about the scourge of abortion and how damaging it has been to our country, the psyche of both men and women in this country. 60 million babies being killed since Roe v. Wade, and I think he should talk about how he's going to overturn that and protect life via legislation. What I don't think you want to discuss is criminalizing the mother's actions here. That's the real issue, and I think he should. I don't know if he should walk it back. That would be completely against everything Donald Trump is for. He's walking something back and apologizing for a misstatement. But I think he got caught here in a circular logic, may not be the right term, but he's caught in an interview here with Chris Matthews. He's not exactly sure how to address the issue. Obviously, he's pro-life, and he touted those bona fides in the interview. But punishing the mother is a step too far. The mother here is the victim. I think most people in the pro-life community would admit that, would say that. There may be a small sect that would say punish the mother, but they're not representative of the larger pro-life movement, which is about saving lives, not ruining even more via punishing a mother for her action.
Now, Donald Trump has sent out another statement about this, and in this statement he said, be fair, was asked if it was illegal, should there be punishment, shouldn't there be consequences for breaking laws? But he did not mention that he also said it should be banned. I'm curious, you used to work for Mike Huckabee. He was clearly one of the most conservative candidates on the campaign trail. Does this make Donald Trump the most conservative GOP candidate now?
He's conservative. I don't know that we'll worry about a most or least conservative here. I mean, he's definitely conservative. I don't think this stance is necessarily the most conservative, but follow this. I'm not advocating Donald Trump's position, but I do understand once something is deemed illegal, you have to have a consequence via punishment. The point is, do we make it illegal? Is the mother the one who's culpable? And again, I'm not an attorney here, but I understand what Donald Trump is saying, and that is once this is deemed illegal in the courts, once we make a law, then anyone who violates that law has to be punished. The problem with that is that's not really the heart and nature of the pro-life movement, which is to not punish people. It's to save lives, not ruin more. That's really the issue at hand here.
From a political standpoint, the latest Pew Research poll shows that 51% of Americans support the legalization of abortion. 43% feel it should be illegal. Some women obviously are going to support his comments. Others are going to be turned off by it. He's offended a lot of women throughout this campaign. Can he afford to alienate any more with controversial comments like this?
Well, look, I mean, you can't really cite any poll and where he stands with women until it actually is a one-on-one fight with Hillary Clinton. I mean, all these polls now have a lot of other folks and factors involved, with Bernie Sanders, obviously, and then also we have a couple of guys extra on our side as well. So Donald Trump's going to have to do some things to bring some women to his side. I don't know that this is necessarily one of those things that's going to tip a woman one way or the other. I think if they like Donald Trump at this point, they like him. If they don't like him, they don't like him. And this isn't going to change that. It does, though, matter, I think, in general. When we move to a general election, if Donald Trump is the nominee and if Hillary Clinton is the nominee, then you're going to see these things really start to rear their ugly head in the general with advertising and things like that. But that's really where I think the crux of this issue will be fought out. People are trying to obviously make Donald Trump appear as though he's got he can't win women. He's going to be, and look, I'll just say this, and forgive me for being not politically correct in the Donald Trump vein here, but it's very difficult to run against a woman for various reasons. One is because if you're too tough, see Rick Lazio on Hillary Clinton, you look like a jerk, like you're trying to bully over and be strong-arm a woman. If you don't put her on the same plane and you only use kid gloves and you're soft on her, then you don't give her enough respect. It's a very tricky proposition to run against a woman. So for the Republicans, we are kind of in a difficult and uncharted territory because you will have never had a woman, a female, running as president. It's going to be very difficult, and you've got to have someone who's politically savvy, quick on their feet, and can make the case without turning off large swaths of women, because it's obvious the Republican Party has a pretty tough time with women right now. But I do want to make one point about the stat you gave on abortion. Younger children now, college-age kids, have actually flipped on the abortion scale, and 51% of college kids are pro-life. And one of the factors, and I asked the Students for Life chairman last year at CPAC why they think that is. Is it morality? Is it the Bible? Is it a Christian movement? And she said no. It was the Constitution. And she said, I'm going to thank Ron Paul for that. It makes people read the Constitution and say, among these, life, liberty, it's the first one, life. And college kids see that and say it's very simple, it's in black and white, it's life. Now, on the flip side of that, I don't want to change issues, but that's also why we see a lot of college kids, college-age kids being for gay marriage. So it's in one way it's helping conservatism with the life issue. It's hurting them with the marriage issue. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just pointing out the fact that we have flipped on the life issue, and there are more college-age kids, I guess, young adults, on the side of life and not abortion.
Hogan, before I let you go, just getting back to Donald Trump's comments, I'm just curious, how do you think they affect Senator Ted Cruz?
I'm not sure. It's a little early to tell that. I mean, I'm sure Ted Cruz is going to try and jump on this politically, one way or the other. Look, it seems like everything out of Donald Trump's mouth from the moment he entered this race has made national news. It was funny because for so long, the national media, the other candidates, we just didn't take it that seriously. And every time he made a comment, we thought he was going to fall apart. First, it was a John McCain comment, not being a hero. I was actually at that event. Huckabee was speaking after Donald Trump. I went down to the press gaggle to hear Donald Trump after he made the comment. And, I mean, his whole campaign thought he was done after that. He went up in the polls the following week. Then he made the Megyn Kelly comment. We thought it was over then. He shot up through the polls then. So, all the conventional wisdom isn't applicable to a non-conventional campaign. And this has been a non-conventional campaign from the get-go. I just think it's taken a long time for people to recognize that. But after a while, I do think some of this starts to bleed away at Donald Trump's supporters. And over time, it's a slow drip. But it's a drip nonetheless, and he needs to shore some of this stuff up and look strong and come out clear on some of these issues. And I think if he does that, he'll run away with this thing. He'll put it away. But as is right now, it's starting to look a little shaky over there.
All right, Hogan Gidley, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. God bless.